Is this you? Is this the sound of your portfolio disappearing into the dust? It might well be, huh? Another day and another dump. And more bad news is the true picture of just how few clothes our beloved emperors truly had. After Celsius, now it's Coinbase. And 3 Arrows Capital to face the painful unveiling of their nether regions. Brian Armstrong painfully acknowledging massive layoffs, and Su Zhu tacitly acknowledging that, yes, there is a situation. That's today's spiciness. The giants are falling, all bets are off. Let's do this. Ah, wait, first we need to do the sponsors. We too have bills to pay. Acquisition Royale is a mergers and acquisitions battle royale game. You can think of it as a mix between a deflationary NFT collection and a PvP play-to-earn game. The game is developed by Pre-PO, which is a gamified DeFi exchange that gives you exposure to pre-IPO and pre-token markets like SpaceX or MetaMask. Start building your empire at acquisitionroyale.com and unlock exclusive items for your pre-PO profile. DeFi users, you no longer need to pay expensive and unpredictable interest rates on your ETH loans. Liquidity, a decentralized borrowing protocol, allows you to borrow against your ETH interest-free. Loans are paid out in LUSD, a USD-pegged stablecoin, and need to maintain a minimum collateral ratio as low as 110%. To learn more, head over to liquidity.org/Defiant to get started and get the most out of your borrowing needs today. January 29, 2020. Coinbase announces the key hire of Google Shopping VP Su Zhu as their new Chief Product Officer, a big hire. And Brian Armstrong in the announcement says, "We're trying to shift cryptocurrency from this speculative asset class to driving real-world utility. There's years where you just want to train the soldiers and stockpile resources, and you're basically just preparing. We're building the company, not just responding to crazy hype." Brian comparing himself to some kind of general there. Coinbase went public in April 2021, one of the most hyped IPOs in history, although it wasn't actually an IPO at all. It was a direct listing with the coin shares heading straight to NASDAQ, following the likes of Spotify. And everything looked great. $328 a share, valuing it at over $85 billion. Brian Armstrong, score. But things haven't been quite so rosy since then. Despite rallying to $333 in November 21, which was really the true top of this very strange bull market, it's been downhill all the way since, with coin now trading at a fraction over $50. And that's where we cue the petition, Operation Revive Coin. Its goal, remove COO Emily Choi, Chief Product Officer Surojit Chatterjee, and Chief People Officer LJ Brock in a vote of no confidence, citing the failure of the Coinbase NFT platform, a toxic workplace culture around performance review, excessive hiring, rescinding offers to new employees, failing to communicate important plans such as layoffs. Now, this isn't the first time Coinbase has been faced with culture-related issues, and it is worth bearing in mind here that Surojit Chatterjee's package for joining Coinbase would have valued him at multiple hundreds of millions of dollars for coin in just basically a year. And now they want to get rid of him. So at the height of the pandemic in October 2020, 60 employees walked out after they disagreed with Brian Armstrong's position on Black Lives Matter. But this petition was clearly written by an insider, and Armstrong, just a few short days ago, came out swinging, urging employees to quit if they're not happy, and ending with this gem. Anyway, 99.9% of the company has important work to do, so if you can stop distracting us, that'd be great. We'll get back to work building cool stuff. Cool stuff. Doesn't it all sound very Zuckerberg? Well, nonetheless, everything's fine, really fam, it is fam, me Brian, me got this. Well, it turns out Brian didn't got this. 99.9% of the company might have important work to do, but that number is actually now 82% since the remaining 18% no longer have any work to do at all because they've been laid off. And I have here the statement announcing exactly that layoff, a message from Coinbase CEO and co-founder Brian Armstrong. Today, I'm making the difficult decision to reduce the size of our team by about 18% to ensure we stay healthy during this economic downturn. I want to start by taking accountability for how we got here. I am the CEO and the buck stops with me. It's all Brian's fault. What has changed? Well, the economic conditions are changing rapidly. We appear to be entering a recession after a 10-year plus economic boom. Could they have seen that coming? Yes, absolutely. A recession could lead to another crypto winter and could last for an extended period. No, it definitely will lead to a crypto winter. He says we grew too quickly. We overhired. They have been hiring at a pace that is simply staggering. And the thing about hiring people during a bull market is that they demand very high salaries. And then when things get bad, you're stuck with the bill and you have to make the painful decision to let them go because people are the most expensive part of any business. Our employee costs are too high to effectively manage this uncertain market. There's also the degree to which they were hiring so quickly that it's made them less efficient, not more. So they were unable to train people up and get them integrated into the business in a way that would allow them to actually benefit from having the greater staff. What else happened? Our senior leaders have worked diligently to identify the appropriate changes for each of their teams based on clarified positions. Now, the bit that's really staggering here is every employee received an email from Human Resources informing them if they were affected or unaffected by this layoff, but that email was sent to their personal account and not to their business account. And they just cut off access to Coinbase employees. You would have logged into your Coinbase email and realized that you could in fact not receive anything. And then you get this painful email saying, thanks and goodbye. Given the number of employees who have access to sensitive customer information, it was unfortunately the only practical choice to ensure not even a single person made a rash decision that harmed the business or themselves. If you went back through that tweet thread where Brian was answering the petition, he makes repeated reference to the fact that this must be insiders who are voicing their own opinions, and if they didn't like it, they should shut up because they're going to harm the business. Clearly, he was extremely worried about employees going on Twitter and posting angry tweets about what had been going on and hurting the company. I mean, how does any of this not hurt the company, Brian? It's just spin. It's just plain and simple spin. The same way that Celsius's awfully worded message yesterday was also spin. Now, you know me, I always enjoy an opportunity to put Justin Sun in the spotlight and never want to let a good news item go untapped. His most plenipotential Phenom Functionate Grand Mufti Justin of the Sunday School of Crypto announced that, well, Tron and numerous other companies were actually targeting a 50% hiring increase. 50% hiring increase. Come on! Ugh! Why? Oh, Justin, you really are special. But listen, it's not just Coinbase. There are rumors everywhere that 3 Arrows Capital is going to follow Celsius into the shit pile of insolvency, following hundreds of millions in liquidations and facing further enormous losses as it appeared, well, I think everyone knew this, that they were massively borrowing against their collateral and were another entity to have bet too heavily on Steth. They dumped 30,000 in one go to unwind their other positions. And look, Su Zhu was one of the proponents of the supercycle theory, an idea rooted in the "this time, it's different" mentality. Now that always smelled like hopium in a posh frock, and so it has proven. And it just shows you how dangerous it is when someone with that size of allocation and stack starts saying things on Twitter. You have to be very careful what you say. Now, Nexo, who, remember, put in a bid to buy Celsius's assets, claimed that they were approached by 3 Arrows Capital for unsecured credit and turned them down, but they knew that 3 Arrows had acquired it somewhere else. And now, because of this, they appear to be in really deep trouble. And let's not forget this. 3AC were part of that round where they bought 10.9 million locked Luna for $555.96 million. All of that, like $500 million, is now worth, well, it's worth less than 1 ETH. Although by the time you watch this, it might just be about, no, it's worthless. It's worthless. 3 Arrows have been borrowing from BlockFi, Genesis, Nexo, and Celsius. And if they're unable to pay back loans, then because of the size of them, it will result in a catastrophic drawdown in available credit in the entire ecosystem, which will result in a catastrophic drawdown in the value of all the digital assets. It's so ugly, and it's in these moments that we see just how badly the true gamblers at scale get their asses handed to them. This won't be the only story like this we hear. Just yesterday, I was shown how badly a Layer 1 had managed its treasury during 2021, splurging on meaningless projects. Now, I don't want to be the one to pour oil on a fire that's already out of control, but needless to say, if you only have 6 months of runway, and now is the moment you try to raise capital, that's going to be an extremely unharmonious situation. As always, stay safe out there. Crypto is resilient. Much will recover, and if it doesn't, then it should never have been there in the first place. Santé. Peace out, bitches!